back to the sawmill, friends. I've got some pretty ambitious goals for the day, but I think I can get most of it done. Let me show you guys what we got going on. On the sawmill, this is a white pine. We'll be sawing this into 2x4s. This won't take long at all. We'll get that done real fast. Over here on the ramps, I got a hickory. It was way too bad for sawmill, and I tried opening up a face. You can see it there on the bottom. Those checks went in way too deep. This was left on the ground way too long, guys, way too long. So we'll take the pallet forks and take that over to the log yard and split this into firewood maybe this evening if I can get my stuff done. So right here is what we're gonna start on today, but I probably won't finish. And this is a mess right here, friends. We got a bunch of logs in here. Most of them are maple. I've been letting them spot for the past year or so, and there's some cherry and some walnut. I need to get these sawed and on stickers and out of the way, and the best one is in the very back. That's about a 30-inch cherry right there. Actually, no, probably about 26, 28 inches. That's a real nice log. I need to mow up here as well. Looks like a jungle. Can't believe I'm showing you guys all this. It looks terrible up here. I need to clean this mess up. Then over here on the other side, I won't get started on these today. We got some more hickory, some spalted maple, and another one of those ash trees that are covered in English ivy. And once that's done, which won't be today, and here's where we're at. Right there's the tractor and the sawmill. I have 2 more piles of logs that have been down for way too long. Now there's some logs here we could salvage. There's a few walnut logs and maybe some more maple, but most of this will be firewood, more than likely. And once that's done, which won't be today or probably tomorrow, maybe by the weekend, we need to take down this fence and open up this back field just a little. I need more room for not only logs, but for the big tractor to turn around back here. Things are way too tight. So those are my goals for the next few days, but today, if I'm lucky, I might get half of that pile sawed up. Half of it if I'm lucky, but I do have a Zoom phone call in about 30 minutes. So that's gonna put me behind even more. Let's get down here and open up the lubrication tank. And on the sawmill, guys, Joe Maine Silver Tip Turbo 7. If you want those blades, you know what to do. Let's tension up our blade. Somebody asked me the other day in a video, I can't remember who it was. They asked me how much pressure I put on the blade. Wood-Mizer recommends on the LT70, they recommend 100 PSI. I tend to run mine about 90 to 95. What I usually do, I'll crank it up to 100, but the band will expand just a little when you start sawing, so it will get a little longer and loosen up a little. And it usually goes down to between 95 and 100, sometimes 90, and I find that's a good place to have it as far as my tension goes. There we go, just below 100. All right, friends. I forgot about this log. How many times have you heard me say that? Probably once a week on this channel. This was in the front of that pile, and I had to move some maples to get to it, but man, I think this has potential to really blow you guys away as far as what you think a log should be at a sawmill. Meaning, I guess on this channel, I try to get over sometimes, or get this way of thinking over, just because a log has been on the ground for a long period of time. In this case, 2 years, it's not really ready for firewood yet. There's still some potential left in it. And this log, friends, is an 8-footer. The diameter on the operator's side, we're looking at 20 inches. Now, I had this thing lined up with this check right here in the middle because I can't see any kind of, I can't see much at all, to be honest with you. The bark is gone, and I can't tell if there's any large knots or cat faces or anything like that going on, because the sapwood here on the end has started to rot just a little. That's going to happen. You can't stop that from happening. Right here in the middle, we have this large check, and I have the log turned, so we will hopefully saw this check out of the log. Now, ideally, friends, don't get me wrong, you don't want to leave a log laying on the ground for 2 years if you don't have to, but sometimes things happen. I do a lot of video in here, I do a lot of farming here, and sometimes I do forget about logs, and I got them scattered all over the place, and sometimes they get to the bottom of a pile, and you just lose track of them. That's the way it goes. I know a lot of guys who run sawmills, and they tell me, and these are the guys who run high production sawmills. They're sawing several thousand board feet a day, and they tell me even at their high production rate with their off bears, sometimes they will burn a whole trailer load of logs every year because they can't get to them or they lose track of them. It happens at every mill. That's just the way the business is. You don't get to all of them. It's really hard to really get the value out of every log at a mill, but just for those reasons alone. That's just the way it is. Now guys, I know y'all can't tell what species it is. The bark is gone. That's your first indicator. And also right here on the end, it is so weathered, you can't tell any colors or what's going on with this. Black walnut, guys, a nice straight log. It was a dead standing tree. I remember where it came from. A tree service brought it here 2 years ago. It was a dead standing tree beside of a water tower. And I saw it up the top of it actually on a video almost 2 years ago because it had a crotch at the top and it had a straight log at the bottom. I think it was a 12-footer, and I got a 4-foot crotch log out of the top of it. Had a little bit of a crook to it. That's why I cut that 4 feet off. But let me see, it's about 5 o'clock. I got 1 hour to work on this. We should be able to get most of it sawed up as long as there's no problems. On the sawmill, got that same blade on there, got the Maine special going. We should have no trouble in slicing through this walnut. It will be a little dry when you enter in right here on the ends on these logs that are weathered. Once you enter in the log, you get back into that nice green wood. Even though it's been on the ground for 2 years, guys, there's a ton of moisture in there. A ton of moisture. You guys hang in there. You're gonna be the first people other than myself to see inside this walnut log. I'm excited. That's exciting right there. To think, I'll shut up here, to think that we're gonna be the first people to see inside this walnut log. And if I would have answered my phone call that day from the tree service, this would have went to the landfill, been grinded up as mulch and used up there for those purposes. So we saved a tree from the landfill. I forgot about it, left it on the ground for 2 years, but that's okay because it's walnut. You guys know as good as I do, it's nice and solid, still here in the middle. I'm gonna shut up because I drank too much coffee today. We're gonna get going here. Let's open this one up, friends, see what it looks like. instead of squaring this log up, I thought I'd cut maybe 2 or 3 and see what we're working with here. And then we'll put it up on its side and get rid of this old nasty stuff here on the sides of it. But I like what I'm seeing so far, and check that out. That's what you want right here. Watch this. I got 2 slabs right here, 2 boards rather, 5/4. I can't pull them apart. You know what that means? They're flat. When you come up to your sawmill and you start pulling boards off and they stick together like this, that means they're nice and flat. That's what you want. And the reason I'm not pulling these back is because I have 2 cameras right here beside me where I'm sawing from. And if I pull them back, they'll probably knock them over. So that's why I don't pull every board back. That looks pretty good. I do have some, I call them rumble strips or washboarding right there. And that's because I was going too slow. Need to speed up a little bit on that blade.